Oh, thank you for having me on. How's it going?
It's going well, thank you. Thank you. We will take the first question from Jay Anderson with Cage Side Press.
Hey, thanks very much, and welcome back, Alex. This is an interesting one going up against a young kid in Chase Hooper. You were pretty young yourself when you entered the UFC, and you'd already been competing for a couple of years. Can you kind of relate to where he is in his career right now, and does that help you in any way going into this?
I haven't really given that much thought. I don't believe age has anything to do with it. He's 9-0, so he definitely has cage experience. I'm not sure that fight jitters might be a factor. I never really try to look for any of those small types of advantages. I'm just going to solely rely on the skill and the experience that I have in order to come out on top in this fight. But other than that, being young or being inexperienced, it might play a factor, but I'm not in his head, so I can't relate to what he might be going through.
What are your thoughts about fighting in the empty venue? Because we've heard a lot of things like fighters can hear, the commentators and, the lack of crowd. Sometimes that's a motivating factor. What's your take on it?
If I feel like it might be like the fights in Japan, to be honest with you. The crowd is completely silent during the fight, so I can hear the commentators and you can hear everybody talking. You can even hear your opponent breathe. That's how quiet it gets in those stadiums. So I think it might be similar to that. And I'm not put off by no crowd. I actually been liking the way things been going on this fight week with not so much public interference. We were just making it about the fight and focusing on the fight. And quite honestly, I believe fighting in front of no crowd with just your coaches there and stuff, it might just feel like a glorified sparring match.
Interesting. What's fight week been like as well? Because obviously you're a little more confined than usual, I guess.
That's been nice, just focusing on the fight and training. It's like I guess fight camp or just training every day. Though what I usually do, I'm not too much of a um, public person. If anything, I keep to myself. I stay home, I chill and train, and I go out sparingly. But other than that, it hasn't been too much of a hassle. It's been a very easy weight cut as well. So I've been feeling good.
Good to hear. And last one for me. I mean, you've been in the UFC for so long now. It kind of feels like you're one of those guys who's experienced everything. But the last few months, and especially even the past week in America, has been just unprecedented times. Just give us your thoughts on that. And, have you been able to maintain your focus on the goal ahead with everything that's going on?
Well, definitely the fight comes first, the art comes first for me. So I have been able to maintain focus, but I always keep an eye on I guess the social uproars and all the stuff that's going on in America. It's not ever outside of my mind sight. I know that this has been going on. It's nothing new to me. It's been going on, and I personally experience such things like racism and those kind of things. So I know it's prevalent in America, and it's always there. We're just videotaping more of it, quite honestly, because we got better cameras and phones, and everybody is documenting these things going down. So I do believe that it is a problem, and it has been a problem for many, many years. And I think the way, especially the minority communities, has to look into solving them is really changing the way they think, changing the way they treat each other, as well as their communities, instead of relying on somebody else outside of your community to maintain and make your community progress. You have to take that responsibility upon yourself. But a lot of us in America in general, we just think that all because it's not our responsibility to end a task, we devoid ourselves from any responsibility of beginning it.
And I appreciate your candor there. And I know you said you'd experienced some yourself. Would you mind sharing, and you totally don't have to, but would you mind sharing some of those experiences?
Well, yeah. Well, growing up in, I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and then we moved to the suburbs a little bit later, and then um, just that itself, I experienced it very difficult for me when I was younger to like talk to people or connect with people because they saw me in one way, and many often more and oftentimes, like they'll say stuff like, you know, uh, like they can't accept the way your hair is, or you're ugly because you have dark skin. So it really caused an identity crisis for me, and I'm sure a lot of people of darker pigments growing up. But besides that point, there are some even more crazier situations. Like I remember when I was in high school, I had a Honda Civic. I blew out a tire, and and I think the engine just shut off. So I had to go push it home. And as I was pushing the car home, you know, on the shoulder of the road, I'm pushing the car home. A cop comes and screeches right behind me to a screeching stop, jumps out the car, gun already drawn, pointing it at me and barking orders. And then what I could make out was he wanted to see my ID. So my ID's in the car. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get my ID. The minute I stop pushing the car to grab my ID, he clicks the trigger back, and just like, don't move. And I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm gonna get on the ground and I'm not gonna do anything. You can grab my ID if you want. But more than one occasion, situations like that has happened to me. So I lose a lot of faith in the people that are supposedly there to protect you. I feel threatened when a cop pulls up around me or when they're near me because I know how situations can escalate for no reason. Absolutely. I remember being in a concert in another high school, and I got into an argument with a security guard there because he tried to physically manhandle me and was not successful. Therefore, when I was walking back out of the school because I'm trying to avoid the conflict, a police officer just jumps from behind me and puts me in a chokehold and tries to bring me down. I defended myself, and he starts screaming, I'm a cop, like, and then they brought us into the whole principal's office, and thank God the superintendent and the counselor there was on my side. He said, well, you can't just do that to people because people are going to react in that way. You can't treat people that way. We can't expect people to walk around completely docile. We're human beings and we all are entitled to our own freedoms. And my freedom ends where yours begins. So we should stop trying to approach on people's freedoms that way. We can't treat people like they're cannon fodder, I should say.
Yeah, man, that's wild. I really appreciate you sharing that with us, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And we will take the next question from Mike Heck with MMA Fighting.
Actually, I forgot to put my hand down. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Thank you, Mike. We will instead take our next question from Danny Segura with MMA Junkie.
Hey, Alex, how's it going? It's been a little bit since we've talked. The last time we spoke, you told me you were relocating to South Florida. So how did that go? How did that process go? And how was your training camp this time around since, you have a new home?
The process went well. Still looking for a new place because I did get a house, but I am looking for some land. So I might move a little bit further south or north, depending on where I find the best deal. But the training camp went perfectly. We didn't close down for the pandemic, at least not for the professional fighters. So we were able to maintain a solid and complete training camp for this fight.
Yeah. Where'd you train, and were you able to bring anyone from the MMA lab to South Florida?
Oh, no, I wasn't able to. And quite honestly, the reason for that is I just totally forgot. And but other than that, I still have their love and support. And, they're texting me every day and we're talking and stuff. And, I guess they're picking apart the fights and whatnot and giving me their insight on it. So we still have a close relationship. But no, I don't have anybody from the lab coming out to my corner. I tried to get Ben out here. He has his hands full with 3 kids already. So.
Yeah, for sure. And when we spoke, you told me you needed some time off to sort of just, figure things out, sort of life outside of the cage. Now that you're like just a couple of days away from the actual fight, is it nice to be on fight week? Because you haven't fought in almost a year. How's that feeling like to sort of be back in fighting?
Well, it feels great. Feels good. It feels good. The time off was necessary. I tried to come back a little earlier, but some fights fell through, and then this whole virus thing happened, and then we couldn't. So I was a little bit out longer than I wanted to be, but other than that, I feel completely happy to be back inside this fight game again, and I'm excited to showcase my skills. I feel like I've improved a lot on a lot of places that I needed to improve on, and I'm quite ready.
Yeah. And you're one of the fighters that sees yourself, not really as a fighter, but as a martial artist. Is it nice to have this Chase Hooper matchup because, you're kind of testing your skills with the new generation, with sort of the new kids that are coming up and bringing sort of new techniques and new ideas to the game?
Well, yeah, it won't be my first time fighting the newcomers into the game or the young guys and stuff. I feel like I tend to have a few fights like that. So I haven't really thought about that per se, but other than that, I feel good going into the fight. I'm not worried. If anything, I know that, you know, with the way things are, with the way things have gone with my record and my career in running, I know that I'm somewhat of a gatekeeper at this moment, and I will accept my position, but I won't be satisfied with it. I am trying to push further every single day, but I know where I'm at right now in the standpoints, especially when it comes to rankings and I guess what everybody else sees. But I know what I'm capable of. So for me, it's like you said, it's a good proving ground.
Yeah. That's interesting. A lot of fighters might not like admit that as far as like feeling maybe like they're gatekeepers. What do you think, you know, since you want to break out of that, what do you think it will take to sort of get out of that label?
Well, definitely, I got to win fights. You know, that's definitely the major thing, and I think it's probably the only factor. I have to put together victories in my fights. You know, and being exciting, it comes with who I am. So I don't have to try to do that. All I got to do is just try and put together victories. Um, but other than that, even victories or no victories, I feel like in every fight that I step into and every time I step into the cage, once again, we do see improvement. We do see even, and it's hard for me to see it after the fight, you know, because we're always down and out if I do lose, but I do see improvement. I do see my game getting better, and wholeheartedly, my ultimate goal is to improve myself every single day. Of course, it would be nice to try and win as many fights as I can and put my name out there, get the title, you know, become a contender, get on the top 5 ranking spots. That's a beautiful thing. And I know it comes with the hard work and trying to be better every day. So I just have to continue that journey. And whatever happens will happen. But at the end of the day, I'm a martial artist and I just want to fight. Everything else is extra. I can take those gifts and rewards and at the same time relinquish them because there's nothing more than you're actually getting in there and testing your abilities with the best in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned that you were looking to buy some land. You're finally going to set up the farm?
Well, yeah, garden. Well, I have like mini farms in the backyards of both houses that I have right now. So I have like over 20 fruit trees in one of my backyards. So I always love growing and planting stuff. But yeah, when I do get the land, I definitely want to grow in a larger scale, as well as set up my dojo there. And my wife wants to set up her wellness center there. So we kind of go into business together. I train and work people out. She'll heal them because she just finished studying. I'm getting her degree in naturopathic medicine. So we're thinking about doing something like that. Trying to develop a new way of living, I guess, that is more sustainable for each of us as well as the earth, so that we can stop thinking that life is just this way. You know, that we just got to get up and work for somebody else, or that we got to take pills in order to thrive, and all that kind of just the BS of it all. You know, we're accepting mediocrity as life. And for me, as far as I know it, I've never seen somebody that died and came back. So we don't know if we got more lives ahead of us. I only have this one. So why am I going to live a life of mediocrity? I'm going to take the chance and fail if I have to, than rather sit there and do nothing because I'm afraid to even try.
For sure, man. All right, man. Well, looking forward to the fight and best of luck with the farm.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you, Alex. That is all the time we had for you, sir. You are good to go.
Thank you.
Oh, good work, man.